What's going on, guys? So two things before we start doing this review. One, I totally didn't know this was the fall finale, because usually they throw that in your face. Did not know this was the fall finale and that we have no Gotham during the month of December. And two, I know all of you just want me to talk about the preview for the January episodes that show Jerome coming back, but I'm not going to talk about that because we'll do that in another video. I want to talk about everything that happened in this episode and what could be happening in the second part of Season 3. So if you're waiting for a Jerome thing, I'm not going to really talk about it much. I will mention him here and there, but I will do a breakdown of that trailer. First thing we're going to talk about is Nygma Barbara Pot, or whatever you call it, is officially donezo. That is right, the fan fiction or bromance or whatever you want to call it between Nygma and Penguin is over. We saw last week that Barbara found out from the maid that Penguin loves Nygma, so she was going to use that in her defense to go ahead and take over all of Gotham City, which is what I told you guys was going to happen, although I felt like she was going to try to start a war because she said she wanted war. I thought she was going to start a war between the five families, but she's just going to go ahead and use Riddler against Penguin, which was the logical thing to think as well. She ended up telling Riddler, and of course in the episode we saw him kind of trick Penguin into letting him know his true feelings about him with that whole he wanted to be partners, but he knew that would reveal his true emotions about Penguin. So he knows that Penguin killed Isabella, and now he's going to work with Barbara. And when I told you guys, if you saw the trailer breakdown, that when they all freaked out, someone was going to walk into that club, and I thought it was going to be Nygma going to make a deal with Barbara, and we found out that deal is that she wants to be part of the five families, or she wants to be the head of the five families, much like Penguin is right now. Barbara's always wanted to be something more, and I'm starting to like this Barbara because she has character development. She's not like she's not like that. She is an actual character, and she's not overly crazy or anything. She is a strong, powerful woman right now. This is the character I can get behind. They don't make her seem like she's trying to be Harley Quinn right now. They're making her her own character, and that is what I like for the Barbara character right now. I hated the whole over-the-top, pushing Harley Quinn type things on her. Never really liked that. So if they're going to keep doing this, I'm going to be a crime boss Barbara. I can get behind this. Just don't make her overly crazy like they have been in previous episodes. Anyways, we found out that Barbara wants Riddler to use his brains and strategic things to destroy Penguin. She's going to help destroy Penguin with Riddler, but then in return, he's going to help her become part of the five families or whatever, or be the boss of the five families, because they won't accept a woman because, old-time values and shit. But anyways, she wants to do that, and this is what I think is going to happen in Season 3. The second part of Season 3, I mean. One, I think they're going to destroy Penguin for a few episodes. He's probably going to fall, but he's going to rise back up because that is what Penguin does. You can't hold Penguin down forever. Two, I think once Barbara gets to the top of the ladder or whatever, and she's like, oh, I'm a crime boss in Gotham now, that is where she's going to get double-crossed from Nygma. I do not think at all, 100%, I feel that Nygma is just like, you know what? I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you get there, and then I'm gonna knock you down because I still fucking hate you. I think Riddler is going to help Barbara get to the top, and then when she's all like, it's time for Gotham to have a woman ruler, at that point, Fish Mooney will return. That's right. How do you slap Barbara in the face? You bring back the original woman that wanted to be on top of Gotham, which is Fish Mooney. And who is Barbara working with? She's working with Butch, who used to be in love with Fish Mooney, but now he's in love with Tabitha. So you're going to bring Fish back to scare off Butch and fight against Barbara, and it's going to be this whole freaking Barbara versus Fish thing fighting for the top of Gotham. That would be a storyline I can get behind, because also, you gotta remember, Barbara, Tabitha, they have that whole assassin crazy girl montage going on. Well, freaking Fish Mooney is gonna have an army of meta-humans, or whatever we call them in this thing, crazy, creepy crawler people. She's gonna have a bunch of those peeps, and it's gonna be a badass little war they could have. It's like the next freaking advanced stage of mob fighting. It's got powers and assassins and shit. That's the kind of fighting we should see, because we already saw the mob fighting, making mob fighting with the guns and shit. No, this time, there's gonna be powers and shit. Now, of course, I don't expect it to get that crazy, But I could see this whole storyline of Barbara rising to the top and then Fish Mooney finally coming back, because that is one of the unanswered questions right now. We haven't seen Fish Mooney since, what, episode 2 of this season? And we're, what, 12 episodes in? So we got 11 more episodes or so, and we have not seen Fish Mooney since episode 2. So she's gonna come back at some point. I don't think she's going to be working with Jerome. I know some of y'all probably think that. I think she's going to be her own thing. She's going to get wind of Barbara trying to be the first woman of Gotham, and Fish Mooney's going to go, she ain't going to have any of that, and she's going to come back. That is my theory for that whole storyline right there. And I think Nygma might have a little ploy in it, because he's like, how can I screw them over? How about I tip off Fish Mooney and she brings her ass up in here and ruins shit? Before we move on to the next topic, let me give 3 quick shout outs. 1, did you catch the little hole when Penguin was talking to Riddler before he announced his love to him? He said, you are cleared to start building a new casino. Could this be the Iceberg Lounge? Is Penguin starting to build the Iceberg Lounge? Because if you've ever seen the cartoon or, the comics or anything, Penguin usually in his lounge, it's like a casino as well. So that would be pretty cool if Gotham is going to start building to that, and he's just going to be like the ruler after he's done being mayor or whatever. That's because I'm pretty sure Nygma is going to go ahead and destroy his mayor candidacy and all that shit and reveal all the bad stuff about him. And he might just become the mob boss of the Iceberg Lounge. Just wanted to throw that out there just in case you guys didn't catch that casino dropping thingy-mabop. The second thing, I just want to say that the Mad Hatter is the best villain on this show. I know a lot of you are like, oh shit, did you just say the Mad Hatter is better than Jerome? Yes, right now. We are going to see Jerome in the second half of season 3, so he could easily come in and be the best villain that this show has had. But for pound, what the Mad Hatter has done, I think he has been the best villain on this whole series because his episodes were great. Him as a character was awesome. The rhyming is I've literally had nightmares about the Mad Hatter. That is how creepy he has been with the whole, look into my eyes. That is just, woo! I freaking love this character, and the rhyming in this episode was badass, and especially when Gordon got into it, and they had a freaking rhyme off, and they were just rhyming at each other like awesomeness. That was badass. So as of right now, I think Mad Hatter is crowned the best character in Gotham so far, okay? Jerome could easily take it back. We haven't seen that much of him, but so far, I think the Mad Hatter is the best. Number 3, Victor Zsasz's character needs to be developed more. I want to see episodes that just don't have him as a supporting character, that he's a hitman. I want to see Victor Zsasz as the man that goes around killing people and putting the freaking marks on his hands, because that is Victor Zsasz. He's not just an assassin. There's so much more to him, and hopefully they have an episode eventually that shows him really become that character. He's had a reason for why he kills his people. He wasn't just a hitman. So I'm hoping eventually we're gonna get that Victor Zsasz, and he's not just a freaking assassin man the whole time. We'll see. But with that, I want to give a shout out to Anthony Kerrigan, the person that plays Victor Zsasz. Homeboy right now is at the peaceful protest at Standing Rock, and if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know exactly what Standing Rock is because I'm constantly tweeting about it. But if you don't live in America or you don't follow me on Twitter, definitely look up what's happening at Standing Rock. It's a very big issue that's going on. I know you probably won't care if you don't live in America, but it's a huge issue right now, guys. It is a big thing, and there's just a lot of information. I'm not going to turn this into a political video, but do look into it. But this guy, a celebrity that has a big job on a big popular show right now, is with normal peeps like us, and he is standing up for something he believes in, and that is amazing. That is the thing I want to do eventually. If I were able to get a platform that is so big and I have an audience that can preach, I don't want to preach. Preach sounds weird. But I want to stand up for things and bring awareness to things that get covered up by people, because there's so many things that happen in this world that people don't pay attention to. They care about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West and all that bullshit, and they don't care about the real people that need help, Anyways, I just want to say, Anthony Kerrigan, you are a badass, and I hope I'm not saying your last name wrong, because I am terrible with names. Dude, you're fucking awesome for standing up for that, man. I wish I would be able to just get up and go and do that, but you are badass, man. You're awesome. Next up, let's talk about Gordon, Lee, and Mario, because that was probably the biggest storyline of this episode. Some of you might have thought it was a Court of Owls part, but I actually think this is the bigger storyline because it could definitely lead up to things in future episodes. Now, we saw that Mario had this master plan. We know that he's infected with Alice's blood. He had this master plan to make Gordon look like a crazy ex in Lee's eyes, and he succeeded to the ultimate of extent. Is that the right word? Extent? I don't know what word I'm trying to use. Anyways, he succeeded in making that happen. We saw Gordon freaking just go crazy about this, but he was just being a really good detective. Like, he put all the freaking pieces together and he was right, but Mario still succeeded. It's like freaking The Dark Knight. You know how Batman got to Joker, but Joker still won because he turned Two-Face and it won the world, and it was just such an amazing movie. Same kind of shit. The detective knows what's going on, but the villain still wins. And that is what happens in this case, because at the end, we saw that Mario gets blown away by Gordon right when he's about to kill Lee. But Lee doesn't know that because she had her back turned. She didn't know that Mario had a knife and was about to stab her in the back. But Gordon blasts him. He falls down, throws the knife into the ocean where all the fingerprints are going to get washed away. And nobody's going to be able to know that Gordon was shooting Mario because he had a knife. Because they ain't going to find that damn knife and they ain't going to find no damn prints. Side note, that freaking whole marriage scene where they're like saying their I do's and freaking Gordon was punching people in the face, that was badass. Like, I like the way that was shot and everything. Good on you, Gotham. Back to the story. This totally sucks for Gordon. Like, he looks like the ultimate asshole here. He just killed he got freaking Lee's husband arrested on their wedding day and all this other drama, and then he kills her freaking husband on her wedding day for no apparent reason that she knows of. Of course, he knows everything, but she ain't gonna believe him because she thinks he's crazy. And bada bing, bada boom, that relationship is just totally fucked. The planning by freaking Mario was so good, though. Like, writer, whoever wrote this episode, I love what you freaking did there, because the way, just step by step, he knew how Gordon was gonna do everything. He knew how Gordon was gonna react, and he was gonna end up confessing his love to Lee on their wedding day, but it was gonna make him seem so much worse. You ever know about bad timing? I know about bad timing so much when it comes to ladies, but like I am saying, that is the worst thing Gordon could have done. After all that waiting, he finally says, "I love you, Lee. I never stop loving you." Like, he freaking blurted out everything on her wedding day? Come on, bro.
But Juice, what do you think happened to Mario?
Let me tell you a little nugget. I think Mario is going to be Grundy. That is right. That is right. A lot of you, and I freaking mentioned this too, I thought that Mario could be Grundy, and I was all like trying to push that to the side. I was like, no, there's no way he's going to be Grundy. But this actually makes perfect sense. I thought about it for a split second. You can go back and watch last week's episode. I thought it was a possibility. I didn't think they would do that. But now that I saw this episode, I'm really thinking that it's possible. And let me tell you why. Let's go ahead and mention a few things. Okay, so we know in this episode that Mario was freaking taking some extra drugs or chlorine or whatever they called it to make it seem like he doesn't have the virus. So we know there's some extra chemicals going all up in that body along with Alice's blood and whatever other shit he was into. But, so we know there's extra stuff right there, right? And we just saw him get blasted twice in the chest, so homeboy is more than likely dead. Well, who do you think is going to be very, very, very upset about his son dying? I don't know. Falcone. And I'm just going to point out right now, if you guys didn't watch my freaking Batman Telltale episode 4 thing, Bruce Wayne, motherfucking Batman in that game, pronounces it Falcone. And a lot of you guys were typing in the comments, they're like, it's pronounced Falcone. Yes, they use it Falcone in this show, but in the game, Bruce Wayne, Batman, said Falcone. And you know what? Something tells me I should go with the way freaking Batman says things. But anyways, it doesn't freaking matter. We'll say Falcone to please a few people. I'm spitting all over the place and I don't care. Anyways, freaking Falcone is going to be super pissed, and we know that he has a lot of friends in a lot of different places. And what if he has some friends like the Court of Owls, which we know he does. He wants his son brought back, and he knows that the Court of Owls can bring people back to life because he probably heard about the whole Hugo Strange thing and Fish Mooney and everybody else that has come back to life. He's gonna want to bring back his son who is dead, and they're gonna try the process to bring him back, but it's gonna freaking go real different and stuff because he has all those extra chemicals in his body and he's gonna turn into Solomon Grundy. Oh yeah, it totally is plausible that that makes sense. You know, it could happen. Also, if you know anything about Solomon Grundy's past, there's an episode on Justice League Unlimited where he wants to know who he was. Before he was Solomon Grundy, he was like just like a low-level thug and stuff, and then I think he was framed and got killed or whatever. He ends up getting killed by other thugs. And since we know that Mario Falcone was part of the Falcone family, he's got that whole kind of thug past going on anyways, although he was a doctor and shit. But you know what I mean. He could have been a part of the Falcone family. Other people, you know, it doesn't matter. They're going to change up that storyline anyways, but he could easily be Solomon Grundy now. So boom, that is my theory for Solomon Grundy being Mario Falcone. Although I am still open to there just being a whole brand new character that is Solomon Grundy, because there was no like born on a Monday whatever, unless Falcone comes out and maybe they're having a funeral for him, or maybe it's a fake funeral and they're like, yeah, he was born on Monday, January something, or whatever, and they do that whole little riddle. That would be interesting. So look out for that. If they have a funeral for Mario and there's like a date and he was born on a Monday, that would be, is it born on a Monday or born on a Sunday? I don't remember. That would be freaking interesting and a cool little thing to write in there if you haven't done it yet, Gotham. Call me up, man. I can write all this kind of shit too. We'll just make it a little all cool and stuff and shit, you know what I mean? Moving on to the Court of Owls storyline of this episode, and I just want to point out from the start, remember when I mentioned in the freaking breakdown video where I said that little smirk that Bruce had was totally because he's like, hey, I'm Batman, you're gonna be Catwoman, someday we're gonna... I told you that that was the freaking smirk, because after he was like, huh, she was like, what are you smiling about? And he's all like, so does this mean you're my girlfriend now? I told you that's what was going on in his brain, man. I know it. Before all of that, we saw that the Whisper Gang was pretty much just eliminated by Talon because he was still looking for the key, and that made, freaking, we saw Bruce training to do the tightrope, and then Selena was gonna dip out because she thought it was a stupid idea. Then we heard Alfred be like, look, I am just in charge of not protecting him. I'm here to make sure he grows up to be the man he's supposed to be, motherfucking Batman. That made Selena think about things, and she eventually shows up to help out. That's when we get the little smirk from Bruce, and they go ahead and break in to the Court of Owls facility. Then we see the whole freaking tightrope thing with Selena, which I still think is kind of stupid. There's no way that Bruce is gonna be able to hold that damn wire. Like, I don't really know. Like, they should have at least had him wrap it around his arm and like showing some different kind of things. I just didn't really believe it. I feel like she would have just sank to the ground. But whatever. I'm not gonna get into those details. So we saw freaking Selena tightrope all the way to the wall, and she gets this white owl that I have no idea what it is. Maybe it's made of cocaine and they sniff it and that's how they become super powerful. I don't really know. From my understanding, there was no white owl in the comics that I remember. They all just had the white masks and stuff. There was no symbolism for this statue that she stole. Before that, oh, you guys think I wasn't gonna mention it? We saw the little good luck kiss between Bruce and Selena, and she was like, good luck. And don't drop me, asshole. They're gonna be Batman and Catwoman someday. Then we see freaking Alfred fight Talon, and they're fighting, and it looks like Alfred's gonna die, and then of course Bruce jumps in there, he gets bitch slapped out of the way, and then of course Selena jumps in there, and she's like, bitch, I'm way better than you, and she stands up, and Alfred stands up, and freaking turns in, he's like, wah! And freaking kills Talon. It was awesome. With the help from a mysterious Catwoman that was jumping on buildings and freaking watching Selena and them. Oh, and who is that mysterious Catwoman? You say? Selena's mama. So yeah, we met Selena's mom, and that is basically where the story ended. It's going to be really interesting to see where they're going to go with that in the second part of season 3. Now, I guess we can totally see where Selena got her freaking catness from. So, I guess her mom is going to be the proto-Catwoman, unlike Tabitha that we thought would be the proto-Catwoman. And maybe with the way they're going with Barbara, she's not going to be the proto-Harley Quinn anymore. So it's going to be really interesting to see where they're going with these characters now, because it really seems like Selena's getting all of her stuff from her mom, since her mom acts the same way from what we saw in this episode. So, yeah, things are getting interesting. I always gotta burp. Before I get into my predictions for the second part of the season, I should mention to you guys that JUICEbox merch is a thing, and you can buy this shirt with this logo for the next 3 days, I think is what's left on the countdown. I don't really remember, but go check it out with the link in the description. Also, well, I didn't mention it in the merch video because it didn't exist yet, but I also launched the double circle tee if you haven't seen that one either. So you can also buy that. Again, link in the description. I know some of you guys were asking for Juice from the Box merch. It is a thing now, so go snag yourself one to become part of the Court of Juice. Now on to predictions, because I know a lot of you are like, talk about Jerome, talk about Jerome. Well, about Jerome, I'm not going to talk about him. I told you guys at the start of the video that I'm going to do a breakdown video later. What I will say is it does look like we are going to have a Court of Owls versus the meta-human type people from Indian Hill in the second half of the season, because we know that the court was going after Mario because he had Alice's freaking blood. And I still think my theory of Mad Hatter breaking out Executioner, we can call him, or I should just say Barnes, out of his cell and using him to further his plan of launching Alice's blood into the world, I think that is still, I'm going with that theory because Mad Hatter said in this episode that he has a cell right next to him, so they're right next to each other. Possible breakout happening in the future. I think he hypnotizes him or something to control him because, you know, he'll just end up killing Mad Hatter because he kills villains now. Anyways, although I would love for the Court of Owls to be afraid of the League of Assassins, I don't think that's going to happen. So I do think that it's going to be Court of Owls versus meta-human type people with powers in the upcoming season, along with the rise of Jerome. Now, Jerome could easily fit into that whole pile of crazy people that the Court of Owls is scared about because he came from Indian Hill too. They know he died because they saw him die on live TV, so they could be worried about him along with all these other meta-human type people, but I don't think Jerome is going to join up with them because he is going to do his own thing. He has his own cult following, and bada bing, bada boom, that is going to, I'm talking about Jerome, I shouldn't be talking about him, but I am. Anyways, so I think in the second half of the season, we are going to see more of the Court of Owls. They don't have talent anymore, but maybe they bring him back because they have that technology. We'll see. It's going to be Court of Owls versus meta-human type people. And then, of course, we're going to have the other side storylines of Fish Mooney versus Barbara, more than likely. And then, of course, Penguin versus Riddler. Whatever's going to happen with Gordon and Lee. And Solomon Grundy. There's so much. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Killer Croc again because, I mean, are they really just going to give us that one shot of him getting hit by a truck and that's it? I don't know. I think we might see him again. I doubt it, but it would be awesome. And where the hell is Freeze and Firefly and all of them? Like, come on, guys. Where are they at? So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see some of them again. But Season 3, second half, is looking pretty awesome. And I think it's called Heroes Will Fall. So that is going to be pretty interesting. Maybe it's because Gordon just killed Mario. I don't know. But I believe the second half, this first half was called Mad City. The second half, I believe, is called Heroes Will Fall. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see where all of these storylines go. And Gotham is getting really good. And I think I might actually like it more than Flash right now. Oh, shots fired! Pew, 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 pew. Anyways, that is it, guys. Make sure you guys go check out the JUICEbox merch if you want any of that stuff. Also, let me know what you thought about this episode and what you think is going to happen in future episodes in the comment section down below. Guys and gals, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share with all your Gotham buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I am your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Bye!